If you're trying to manage your taxes for retirement, you might hear about a couple of different strategies and the names can get confusing. So we're going to talk about a couple of those right now. So we've got Roth conversions, we've got the backdoor Roth strategy, and we've got mega backdoor. So for the next couple of minutes, we'll go over how these work. By the end of the video, you'll know when they're available and how much money might be involved. And then we'll also talk about some rule changes because some of these might be going away, in particular the backdoor and the mega backdoor strategies. So we'll start with Roth conversions, and this is when you convert pre-tax money to after-tax money. So you might just decide that you have a lot of money, let's say in a pre-tax IRA, and maybe you want to pay some taxes on that because you think that the tax rate you would pay at today is a reasonably good deal. That might be the case if you have a relatively low income this year, or if you think that tax rates will be higher in the future for whatever reason. Roth conversions are kind of the foundation of all three of these strategies, or of the next two strategies. And that is because you're going to be taking some money that has been in an account that would get taxed when you take it out later, presumably, and moving it into Roth. And that way you can potentially get tax-free income or tax-free withdrawals. Now, to qualify for the tax-free withdrawals, you have to satisfy some specific IRS requirements. We're not going to get into that so much as we just talk about the differences between these strategies. Your basic Roth conversion can happen with retirement money that maybe you've been saving up for years or decades. So it could be in an IRA that has a decent chunk of change in there, and you might even do partial Roth conversions, or each year, if the rules allow you to do so, you might decide to take some portion of that. Maybe you figure out how much you want to pay up to a certain rate, and you convert just a portion of that account. Then ideally, you would pay taxes out of separate funds, in other words, not taking a distribution from the IRA. Of course, talk with your advisors before you decide how to do that. But if you have outside money, that allows you to maximize what actually ends up inside of the Roth IRA. This is a good time for a friendly reminder that a short video can't possibly cover everything. This stuff gets complicated and the rules can change. So it's really important to triple check with your CPA, with your tax advisor, or with somebody who is familiar with your circumstances and the current laws. Please do that to avoid problems. Next, we have the backdoor Roth, and this is a strategy where you might have an income that is too high for you to qualify for annual contributions to a Roth IRA, or you might not be able to get a deductible traditional IRA contribution done. If that's the case, you can probably still contribute to a traditional IRA, but it's a non-deductible contribution. That makes it a decent candidate for these backdoor Roth contributions because you have money that is after tax and you're just going to shift it over into a Roth IRA and potentially be able to take it out tax-free in retirement. A limitation on this is that you're subject to the annual limits on IRA contributions. So the most you can do is to put in that traditional IRA contribution and then convert that, and you're going to do that year after year. You put the money in, you convert. Put the money in next year, you convert. That's the basic backdoor strategy. When we look at the mega backdoor strategy, that's going to allow for bigger contributions. To make this work, though, you need an employer plan that offers it. So, for example, you might have a 401k at your job that allows you to contribute, and this is totally separate from your normal salary deferral contributions. So if you have Roth 401k, in your plan, this is different from that. You do your Roth 401k contributions if you want to, but then on top of that, this is where the mega backdoor Roth comes in. Similar to the backdoor Roth, what you're doing is making a contribution each year and then converting that to Roth, and you're making after-tax contributions. So for that to work, your employer needs to offer voluntary after-tax contributions, and that's an optional feature that not all plans have. So don't be surprised if it's not available to you. That's because those contributions can mess up the non-discrimination tests that 401k plans have to follow. So a lot of employers just don't offer this. If you're lucky, your plan might also offer in-plan conversions, and that just means they move the money from the voluntary after-tax account over to the Roth account inside of the 401k. It keeps it pretty easy. Once again, these types of strategies might not be around forever. There are some proposals to get rid of them, so make sure to check with your tax advisor and your employer to find out what's available. And if you don't know if you have Mega Backdoor, just ask your employer if you can do voluntary after-tax contributions or if you can do similar strategies. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please leave a quick thumbs up. Thanks for watching and take care.